1,930 earthquakes, unusual movement, global unrest, and more. Kick back, folks, and relax. This is your weekend report. Hey! I hope you all have had an awesome week, and I wish you the best with preparing for the Christmas holiday. Also, I trust that everyone made it safely through the craziness we call Black Friday. I want to thank you for tuning in for the earthquake report. For the record, today is December 4th, 2016. This video will speak of earthquake data spanning from November the 26th through today. It was on this day in 1957, when a magnitude 8.1 struck Magnolia. All houses were destroyed near the epicenter. Subsidence, faulting and fissures occurred as a result of this powerful quake. The largest fissure was 155 miles long. Because of the extremely sparse population in the area, this is perhaps the least damaging great earthquake to have occurred on land in the 20th century. Before jumping into the report, I would like to take a moment to throw a shout out to our friend Joshua Old School. Thanks for your observations and willingness to share your findings. You're a good soul and I appreciate you. Alright. Earthquake report time. Here we go. As mentioned, we finished last week off with 1,930 earthquakes. For those interested, we finished November off with 7,282 earthquakes. For historical reference, a year ago today, we clocked in 228 earthquakes. The strongest to strike the planet then was a 7.1 which hit the Southeast Indian Ridge. This earthquake was quite powerful, however, it did not result in any damage or injuries as it struck at the seafloor. For those interested, the Southeast Indian Ridge is a mid-ocean ridge in the southern Indian Ocean. This ridge stretches nearly 3,700 miles between the Rodriguez Triple Junction in the Indian Ocean and the Macquarie Triple Junction in the Pacific Ocean. Once again, we were presented with an incredibly interesting week. Earthquake activity continues to increase, unique and unusual earthquakes continue to be experienced. Let's break it down now. The strongest experienced last week were a 6.3 in Peru that struck on December the 1st, and a magnitude 6.0 that struck our pals in Alaska on December the 3rd. The 6.3 that struck our friends in Peru was relatively shallow. The epicenter struck a sparsely populated area in Peru's southern Andes near Lake Titicaca on Thursday, toppling some adobe houses but apparently causing no casualties. The earthquake was measured at magnitude 6.3 and its epicenter was about 26 miles northeast of Huaycacara in Peru's Puno region. The depth has been measured at just 6 miles. The Civil Defense Department said that some houses made of adobe collapsed in the towns of Lampa and Melgar. Resident Rosario Bustonza said a crack had appeared in one of the towers of the 17th century Santiago Apostol Church. Earthquakes are common in Peru, which is home to a major stretch of the Andes and is on the Pacific's Ring of Fire. The magnitude 6.0 that rattled Alaska failed to yield any damage or news for that matter. We have a record of it occurring via the United States Geological Survey data, however, not a single article has been written about it. Oregon experienced a series of interesting earthquakes this week. This includes a magnitude 5.5 and a 4.2 that struck on November the 28th. Both hit an area known as Brandon, which lies along the Cascadia subduction zone. For those interested, the Cascadia subduction zone fault is a 621-mile-long dipping fault that stretches from northern Vancouver Island to Cape Mendocino, California. It separates the Juan de Fuca and North America plates. New Juan de Fuca plate is created offshore along the Juan de Fuca Ridge. The Juan de Fuca plate moves toward, and eventually is shoved beneath, the continent of North America. Great subduction zone earthquakes are the largest earthquakes in the world, and are the only source zones that can produce earthquakes greater than Mate 5. The last known megathrust earthquake in the Northwest was in January 1700, just over 300 years ago. Geological evidence indicates that such great earthquakes have occurred at least 7 times in the last 3,500 years, a return interval of 400 to 600 years. Another notable earthquake we must mention struck down Paris, France on December the 3rd. This was a 4.1. What I found to be particularly interesting about this earthquake is, its epicenter lies just 61 miles from CERN laboratories. CERN has been in the news lately as they announced they have begun their search for dark protons. Some particle physicists believe that just like the electromagnetic force, one of the four known fundamental forces in the universe, is carried by photons, there may be equivalent particles doing the same job in the dark universe. Moreover, they say, these dark photons may interact with regular photons in a process known as mixing, which should give rise to subtle, but measurable, effects. These effects are what CERN scientists are currently looking for. When you have a moment, I would love to know your thoughts on CERN's activities. Are they innocent or devious in nature? Along with this, a 3.8 magnitude earthquake that struck northern Israel early Friday morning. The trembler hit at around 6:35 a.m., with the epicenter some 3.1 miles north of the Sea of Galilee, near the city of Tiberias. A few days prior, a 4.4 magnitude earthquake struck the Egyptian Red Sea in the Sinai Peninsula. It was felt as far north as the Israeli resort city of Eilat, at the tip of the Gulf of Aqaba on the Red Sea. No damage or injuries were reported either. Next we turn our attention to Yerington, Nevada, where this morning, December the 4th, we experienced a magnitude 4.0 earthquake. This particular earthquake struck just 31 miles from the Soda Lakes volcano. Interesting. The Soda Lakes are two lakes located northwest of Fallon, Nevada. They occupy two basaltic Mar volcanoes which may have erupted in the last 1500 years. Very interesting. Along the North American Craton, we experienced some interesting movement. This includes a 2.0 that hit Milan, New Hampshire, a 2.2 that rattled Middlesboro, Kentucky, and a 1.3 in Freeport, Maine. The New Madrid continues to move as well. The strongest registered was a 2.5 in Luxora, Missouri. In total, 14 earthquakes struck along this major seismic zone. And that's it for the earthquake report. If you experienced an earthquake today, or if you would simply like to chat, please post down below. I would like to hear from you. Feel free to post about anything that is on your mind. Make certain to like, subscribe, and share this video. Also, if you like the social media thing, you can link to us via the standard allotted social sites in the description. We'll end this report with a video feed from our favorite star. Stay safe and have a great week.